Happy day. My name is Ashley Michaels. This is my sacred and very curious space. It's called Feeling Curious. And it's meant to tap on several things, definitely intellect of curiosity, but feeling curious is absolutely the meant to be play on the word. I want to engage in the mystery of all the feelings and sensations that we have. The idea that curiosity is driving me and hoping that I can like throw out the net and see who else is as curious as me and wants to talk about these random ass topics is kind of the intent behind the whole experience here. So to give you kind of an idea of who I am, who's Ashley Michaels, I am a creative artist. I've been a hairstylist for 16 plus years. And I would really probably more so identify as a human research developer because in that space, people are so honest and transparent and vulnerable. And that applied with the intense curiosity I had about like, what am I? Who am I? Like, what is this feeling? Just beyond what somebody told me I am, I needed to go and explore for myself. And that curiosity has driven so many aspects of my life. The curiosity of, I think, in the original way that I went out of curiosity was travel. So that exploration, that adventure, finding who I am literally across the world was so exciting to me. And then it was like the curious contradictions that I saw in the people in my world as it played out and how I wanted to live a certain way and I didn't want to live the way that I was given the example of. There was the curious aspects of making money and like how to be an artist and how to live your life the way that you wanted to live it. And these things were driving me to find my own. So curiosity has really propelled me. It's given me a career as a hairstylist, working behind the chair, and it's given me the opportunity to move it to other states completely, create a whole new life. It's given me the opportunity that when I'm looking for the expansive sort of reaching for the limits or limitlessness of my life, it's always been something that, like hair has always been something that has like grounded me and kept me able to survive. That's what I should say. And so, really, even being curious enough to look into a career that would offer me that freedom where I can make my own life and all of these things sort of just start to play into they I've heard somebody say once before, they season your cast iron. And I'm really into that. And so all of these things that create who you are. And if you're interested like me, you're curious as to like find out more. And my intent was to share like why and who I am and what curiosity means to me. And I've really been holding back for so many years, for so many reasons. Not sharing my voice, feeling nervous, really not embodying the things that I was learning. And I, with my teacher, and so like I'll say that as well, what's so important to me for anybody to understand is this is not original. Like everything that I would present is just, I'm an eager and excited student that just loves to teach. And the more that I can teach concepts that I'm learning and understanding, and other people are also interested, or if nobody's interested, it like helps me grasp the concept and embody it a lot more. And my curiosity ranges from, and I'm assuming that my person is also an intellect who applies the knowledge to their own personal evolution. It's not for me just like how can I have external validations? It's like how can I feel good about myself? Like that's really what it all comes down to. I want to feel proud of myself. I want to understand myself. It's like really curious to me. The fourth way is one of the most prominent systems that I come back to. In my life, I teach yoga. I have done the religious route, of course, miracles, a lot of different fields of thought, astrology, tarot, all different things that you can think of. Not all of the different things, but like a lot of them. But I always come back to fourth way. And I don't have the words always, and this is my attempt here, but I understand it as I've been learning it now for several years, 4 plus maybe 5 years. And the understanding that I have isn't like solidified until I start to teach it. And A Course in Miracles says that a teacher, it's not yours until you give it away. And so that's my attempt here. And before I go any further, the quote that steps out, like stand out to me is, if you've come here to liberate me, then you're wasting your time. But if your liberation is tied up in mine, we'll come together. Let's liberate each other. And that'll be cleared up somewhere on my website, sure. But the intent that I need this just as much as I needed it when somebody else did it is really, really motivating for me, because as I was saying, I understand fourth way through my teacher that the work is objective. And we're in this place and time where it's shifting, where people are starting to do the work, and there's a lot of varied ways that you can do the sort of journey of exploration on yourself. And some of them just don't resonate with me. Or like I was like, okay, cool, I get it. I need something deeper. I need something more encompassing. And when I found things like a fourth way, that was what she was teaching as an objective way of understanding yourself. There wasn't faiths, there was efforts, there was verifications, there was, do you have the curiosity within yourself to experiment and find out for your own knowledge? So knowledge and wisdom and understanding are all different like levels of uh sort of conceptualizing something. But when you understand it and you make it your own wisdom, I'm presuming that it has to be sort of taught. And so here's where I get all this information out of me, because it's just been stewing and brewing. And my poor clients and friends just are hearing probably more than what they're intended or wanting to hear. And so this is my space. Like, this is, if you don't want to be here, you wouldn't have tuned in. I'm talking to people who are interested in the topics of esoteric, sexuality, trauma, grief, pleasure, money, creating the life that you want, adventure. Okay, so I should always probably start with adventure and bravery and courage. This place is not for somebody who's not interested in going below the surface. My intent here is to be as deeply curious about even curiosity, and keeping that excitement alive in myself for sure. But I know that there's more people out there that are just kind of a little unsatisfied with what's like being presented in sort of mainstream. And some of us are okay with breaking out of the norms. And this is me doing my absolute best to break out of my own little scary world. And I had waited quite a few too many years, leaning on the idea that I wanted to be a teacher, but not thinking that I had the full knowledge yet. And the truth is, I needed to embody a lot of things. So I'm okay with that as well. But the reality is that there's a teacher within me. Even before I started teaching yoga, there was a narration in my head that was teaching me and helping and my astral body, let's just say, another body while I'm doing yoga, telling me what I'm experiencing and embodying, and where and how to put my hands and engage muscles. So this, as I learned almost anything, my brain would sort of translate it, even in its own mind, not even always sharing, but I guess I probably always have shared what I was learning out loud, whether people liked it or not. But to be able to get it out feels like it's doing service to the source that's giving me this energy, because there's a great line in the song that says like, this gift is a, is not a big deal. Like the gift that serves the source is a big deal. And I'm really into that. I don't know if I feel as comfortable taking like credit for basically anything. I just need to share these things and being as clear as I possibly can that I am learning from other teachers. That Mami Onami is my absolute favorite teacher. She is authentic. Coaches that I've had in the past systems that I've learned, teachers that I've learned from just through books, yoga, all of these things sort of started to distill the information down into like what's embodying. And this past year, I've taken a really big break from no input, like no coaching, no really not that much reading, more writing, if anything, but not that much reading or no podcasts, barely any input is my point. And I wanted to see what was in me without repeating something or mimicking or like my point exactly of sharing why teachers have given me this information is so that I can say like this is after all the time that I've used this information as wisdom and understood it through various steps of my life, it's mine now. And so I don't need to be reminded of these concepts. I live these concepts. And that felt like a great time to step forward and say, okay, I think I'm ready to share. I think I'm ready to say that there's a brave new world ahead of me that I'm curious about. And so many topics that I want to share and so much big dream around this, honestly, so much vision for sort of a lack of better words is coming to eruption. It feels so good to happen. It doesn't need to happen. And if you found yourself here, I'm so excited. I don't know how I would get so lucky for somebody to come and listen to some random rambling. A mystic like myself. So thank you for being here. Happy day.